love a toddler that wants to play guitar in the middle of a car park. Can you sing? She obviously doesn't know her daddy would never leave her behind. Welcome to LSU. We are in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we had to come and see Mike the Tiger. What other university has a tiger in a full enclosure for you to go check out? Let's see what Dylan thinks.
No tigers. No tigers.
Call for him again. Go back to the glass and call for him again.
Tiger. Tiger.
Ah, he's over the back. Look through the waterfall.
What did you go see? A tiger? How big was the tiger? Big tiger.
Do you know what the tiger's name was? Mike. Very good.
Yeah, big tiger. Good job.
We headed over to University Lake, and there just so happened to be some Canadian geese. Nanny loves ducks, but we figured she would like these just as much. Can you say Canadian geese? Dylan, what do you want to do? Find a playground. Alright, we'll ride around the lake. See what we can find. We hope you enjoy the ride and the houses that we see along the way. We didn't find a playground, did we? What's this? Our camping van. You ready to go? So off to the casino we went. They allow free camping, so we stayed a couple of days and explored the Mississippi riverfront and the port of Baton Rouge. There's an awesome walking or riding path along the Mississippi River where you can just take in the sights and see a few interesting things like the battleship and some of the military planes in a museum right there in front of the river. Last but not least, we got to see a beautiful sunset over the Mississippi. Listen to that water roll. And then it was time to head north and check out a few different things in Louisiana on our way up to Arkansas. Let's see what we can see. It's the small things. Fields that do not have corn in them. After much time in the Midwest that was unplanned, and we were surrounded by cornfields all the time.
Just 25 miles south of Alexandria, we stopped at the Southern Forest Heritage Museum. It is a 60-acre complex established in the 1800s and remains the most complete historic sawmill in the South.
It's a story of America's forests. It's a journey into your imagination.
Our first stop was the commissary. It had lots of interesting exhibits and articles that you were able to view and see how the sawmill transformed the South.
Dylan, what are you walking towards? Dylan, what's in there?
A bathroom.
Very good. It's an outhouse. You picking up a package, Scotty?
Yes. All of 21 cents.
For the packet. For the packet.
We were able to check out the Camp Claiborne Historical Center, where we got to learn about Caroline Dormant, who was one of the leading conservationists of this time. It was quite interesting because she is the founder of conservation for the state of Louisiana. And it was very unusual for a female at that time to have that kind of role. You know, you're 3 years old. Do you know how old this tree here is? He was 94 years old. And see, each time you do a line, see the lines? This is the line, and this is the line. Like when you're coloring, that's a year. So 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5, 94 years.
How would you like to sleep on a bed like that, Dylan?
Being the history buff that I am, I was quite interested to learn this was one of FDR's projects, the Civilian Conservation Corps, where they came through and replanted all of the trees and made this area grow the way it is today. Now you can see what the old sawmills look like and what it took to get one of these structures up and running. A train? What color is a train? And what color? What other color? Black and red. You wave? One of the most interesting parts of this museum was your ability to walk around and actually touch and feel the facility. Most museums nowadays, you are stuck behind glass and you're unable to walk around and see how the building actually functioned. In this location here, we were able to get right up close and personal with the Crowell and Spencer 400 engine. This engine's left outside, but it was a beast in its time. Dylan really enjoyed playing on all of the equipment that they used, that they currently maintain the train that runs around the facility at this time. As you can see, she really wanted to drive it, but we decided it was best not to let her drive a train around the tracks with all the gentlemen working on it. The ability to walk around and see the guys working, the running around the tracks, the climbing around, it was a really enjoyable place for a 3-year-old to really get out and enjoy some time outside. One of the things she really looked forward to was just climbing on this big train. It is was a fully functional steam engine train. And it's time she was able to climb up, sit in the seats, pose for some pictures, climb around just like, you know, she owned the train. It was really exciting to see her face light up as she was able to climb up and play with the levers on the train.
Driving a train, Mom.
Yeah, you are.
I'm being a real worker, Mom. I'm being a real worker like on a train.
And a little family photo of us enjoying the day. Time to head toward the last structure, but not for a little rock time.
It's rock, well, not dead to me, Mom. It's rock, though, not dead. I'm a cheese.
It's funny how Dylan, whenever she sees the camera, says cheese. She doesn't realize she's being filmed all the time. Time to move on, Dylan.
Our last stop on this tour was the Longleaf Sawmill. It was quite an interesting trip as you were able to walk throughout the entire sawmill and see the different areas, how a log goes from a full-grown tree up the ramp, goes through some really large blades, and eventually goes through a planer and comes out to the boards that you see now in Home Depot and Lowe's. The structure of this facility being in 1800s was really amazing, considering the technology that they used then is relatively similar to what they use today.
What a good time we had at the museum. Now is time to head north.
We're heading on I-49. We could not resist to stop at my favorite Louisiana town of Natchitoches. Natchitoches is founded in 1792 or so. It's a very old French town. You can tell by the architecture as you go through the town. It's a very neat and historic town. What most people know about Natchitoches, though, is the movie Steel Magnolias. Steel Magnolias was filmed here in the late 80s, early 90s, and Dolly Parton, Julia Roberts, and a whole lot of famous movie stars. In the movie, this part of the town played an important role as it was the final scene where you have the Christmas parade shot off the Red River, which appears to your right. The Red River flows through the entire length of the city, and in it, this is where the city hosts its annual Christmas on the River parade. It is an amazing parade that has boats of every shape and size and design parading up and down the river for all the spectators to view.
Bye-bye, Natchitoches.
Time to head out and head on up into Shreveport. Welcome to Shreveport and Bossier City, our home for the night at the Bass Pro Shop. Nothing is perfect. I'm not interested in this stuff, Daddy, because I just want to run around like a crazy person. Yeah.
Just a couple of Dylan poses for your entertainment. No more watching the Chipmunks movie for her. She's posing like Brittany. What are you doing?
Stealing rocks.
We are not stealing rocks.